CNN has obtained exclusive audio and internal memos from a closed-door meeting held January 3, 2024, inside the Eisenhower Executive Office building, just 48 hours before Congress forced the final unsealing of the Epstein files under the new Earn It Act amendment. Sources inside the White House say the gathering was labeled Urgent National Security Briefing on the official schedule, but was in reality a last-ditch effort by senior Biden administration officials, Justice Department leadership, and representatives of several high-profile individuals still redacted in the Jeffrey Maxwell docket to delay or permanently block the release scheduled for January 8th. The 42-minute recording, authenticated by 3 separate forensic labs contracted by CNN, captures Principal Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco, warning the room that the next scheduled batch contains multiple sitting United States senators, at least 1 current cabinet secretary, 2 federal appeals court judges, and 3 household-name tech billionaires, whose identities would become public unless the administration invoked a rarely used 1947 intelligence exemption. Monaco is heard telling National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan that the political fallout would make the Clinton era look like a misdemeanor, and that the intelligence community had already prepared a classified impact assessment predicting massive institutional erosion across the federal judiciary and both political parties. Former President Bill Clinton's longtime attorney David Kendall participated via secure video link and can be heard demanding the White House do whatever is necessary because certain passages in the upcoming release quote Epstein, directly saying he kept videotapes of Clinton that were stored in a safe location outside the United States as insurance. Kendall reminds everyone on the call that Clinton still retains full TSSCI clearance as a former commander-in-chief and argues that releasing the material would therefore constitute a breach of national security protocols. Sullivan pushes back, saying public pressure and the new law passed by Congress with veto-proof majorities left the administration no legal pathway to stop the unsealing without triggering immediate impeachment proceedings against the Attorney General. The most explosive exchange comes when CNN sources say a senior CIA official, speaking off mic but later identified by voiceprint as Deputy Director for Operations Elizabeth Kimber, states flatly that the agency has possessed copies of Epstein's island surveillance system hard drives since 2019, and that several current foreign heads of state appear in the footage alongside American officials. Kimber warns that full disclosure would collapse ongoing intelligence sharing agreements with at least 5 Five Eyes partner nations and give Russian and Chinese services a generation worth of blackmail material against the entire Western alliance. She recommends immediate classification of the entire Epstein docket under the Atomic Energy Act restriction level, a move that would remove the files from civilian court oversight completely. By the end of the meeting, Monaco instructs her staff to prepare emergency motions claiming the documents contain sources and methods vital to ongoing counterintelligence operations against foreign influence networks. While Sullivan tells the group the president has been fully briefed and is deeply concerned about irreversible damage to American institutions. Participants leave with instructions to have all options on the president's desk by sunrise, including the nuclear option of declaring portions of the Epstein evidence classified state secrets and transferring physical custody from the Southern District of New York to a SIF at Langley. Less than 12 hours after that meeting, CNN cameras captured an extraordinary scene outside the Thurgood Marshall Courthouse, as armored SUVs belonging to the DOJ's National Security Division arrived unannounced and removed 27 sealed boxes from the clerk's evidence vault under heavy U.S. Marshal escort. Court staff tell CNN the transfer happened at 4:17 a.m., with no prior notice to Judge Preska, who learned about it only when she arrived for work and found her chambers sealed by federal agents citing executive order authority. Within hours, the Justice Department filed an emergency motion asking the Second Circuit to stay all further Epstein unsealing pending review of newly discovered classified equities, and claiming the Earn It Act amendment violated separation of powers. The move triggered immediate bipartisan fury on Capitol Hill, with Senate Judiciary Chairman Dick Durbin and Ranking Member Lindsey Graham issuing a rare joint statement calling the overnight seizure an unacceptable assault on judicial independence, and vowing to hold televised hearings beginning next week. House Speaker Mike Johnson went further, announcing the formation of a select committee with subpoena power over any agency attempting to reclassify Epstein material already ordered released by a federal judge. Behind the scenes, congressional sources say Intelligence Committee members were shown portions of the classified impact study prepared by CIA and were told point-blank that continued releases would end careers on both sides of the aisle and destabilize multiple allied governments. By late afternoon Friday, the White House press office was forced into an impromptu briefing where Karine Jean-Pierre refused to answer direct questions about the 4 a.m. evidence transfer, repeating 12 times that the administration respects the independence of the Department of Justice, while declining to say whether President Biden personally approved the national security claim. Multiple reporters pressed her on the apparent contradiction between Biden's campaign promise to release all Epstein files and the current effort to rebury them, receiving only the response that ongoing legal processes prevent further comment. As of 10 p.m. Eastern, the Second Circuit has temporarily granted the DOJ's emergency stay, meaning no new Epstein documents will be unsealed next week as originally scheduled. Federal agents remain stationed inside the SDNY clerk's office 24 hours a day, and sources tell CNN the 27 boxes removed yesterday morning are now stored in a sensitive compartmented information facility in Northern Virginia, where access is restricted to fewer than 40 cleared personnel across the entire government. Multiple judges involved in the original case have been offered additional protective details after receiving credible threats traced to IP addresses in Eastern Europe. The battle has now moved from the courts to Congress and the court of public opinion, with millions of Americans downloading archived copies of everything released so far, and independent researchers promising mirror sites that cannot be shut down by any single government. What began as a sex trafficking case against one financier has become the largest confrontation between transparency and national security classification in modern American history. And every indication tonight is that the government is prepared to escalate much further to prevent the rest of the names from ever seeing daylight.